not lose my voice. And I'm a walk and talker, so I'm going to walk close to this speaker over here and hope I don't get yelled at. Oh, good. So most of you know me. I've spoken to this community once before. After the winter storm, we did a lessons learned debrief, but my job here in Lane County Emergency Management is to help coordinate resources for first responders, right? So the Fire Defense Board chiefs have said that it's my fault that we've had a winter storm, a wildfire, and flooding in the last 3 months because I'm brand new, right? So it's all my fault. So they gave me the summer off, which is great because I really need some time off. I'm tired. The snowstorm, we actually declared a disaster in Lane County on my very first Monday on the job. So it was not trial by fire, it was trial by snow, right? And a lot of what I was doing was focusing my efforts on Oak Ridge because of Highway 58 being closed. How are we getting resources up to Oak Ridge to support not only the community that had been impacted without power and communications and a lifeline route, but they also had an Amtrak train with 182 people on it that was stranded in Oak Ridge as well, right? So when the state of Oregon called me and said, hey, Patience, what do you know about this Amtrak train? I thought they were pulling my leg because I'm new, right? They're just giving me a hard time, but no, they were serious. So I learned a lot and quickly. It's a good thing that in Eugene, my primary focus was preparedness and outreach. And I also got to play in training and exercise and talk about actual incidents and how we would respond as an organization. So understanding what our capabilities and limitations here locally in Lane County, what we can and can't do as a government for our community is huge, right? And being a rural community member, I already have a little bit of understanding about what first responders can and can't do for us, right? There's a fire station up here, but it's primarily volunteers. So those volunteers either have a job in town or they have other responsibilities. They're not paid. It's not a staffed fire station. We have a number of community members that live here that have a need. Right? So it's up to me to have a plan on how my family's going to take care of themselves because nobody's coming, right? Well, the thought process in town where people, there's, the population in Eugene is 165,000 people and they've got 71 firefighters on duty at any given time. What's the ratio there? They're still going to have a problem getting first responders to come when there's a catastrophic event, right, like the winter storm. So the struggle is real, and it's important for us as individuals of our community to have a plan and be prepared. So that's why I'm here speaking to you tonight, and I'm going to each of the Lane Electric District meetings because it's my opportunity, one, to meet our community as the Lane County Emergency Manager, but it's also my opportunity to help you understand why it's important to have a plan, right? Know your neighbors. Know who needs help and who doesn't. And if you need help, asking somebody for help, especially in a Cascadia earthquake situation, who's going to come check on you, right? If your house collapses, who can you count on? Or can somebody else count on you, or do they depend on you, right? Asking those questions is huge. And then having a plan is another important piece of that. So in your bags, you should all have a little brochure that talks about neighbor to neighbor, right? It's about making a plan with your neighbors and having a plan of how to communicate. So my presentation that I did, or my lessons learned that I did with Margaret and up here in McKenzie was, do you have a communications plan when communications fail, right? So McKenzie Bridge was one of those communities during the winter storm that had no communications whatsoever. What are you going to do? In a Cascadia situation, it's going to be a lot longer than 5 days without communications. It's going to be a while, right? So how are you getting information? Who are you communicating with? Where are you going to go? Tie in with Margaret because she's really working hard on establishing an emergency planning team. I don't see Margaret. I know she's here. She said she was going to sit down, but tie in with Margaret and have a plan. Become a part of that emergency planning team and be a part of the effort to help make our community more resilient in the face of a winter storm or a flooding event, right? Or a long-term power outage. Oh, some of the bags may have them, some of them don't, but we have a bunch on the back table as well, okay? The other thing is, the power went out for a long time, and I'm one of those people that I can never find a flashlight and I can never find batteries. This is a solar lantern, right? So I bought like 5 of these, and I stuck them in my laundry room window, right? And so I forgot them. I just stuck them there and left them there. And it's pretty inexpensive. You can buy last year's model for like $10. They have many different models. And I think I have 5 of these now. And when the power goes out, I just go to my laundry room and I grab my solar lanterns, and they're very bright. Like, I cooked Thanksgiving dinner over the light of these lanterns. I said that last time, and someone thought I actually cooked Thanksgiving dinner with the light. I was like, no. But this particular model here has a USB plug-in where you could charge your cell phone off of it too, right? So it's just another way of thinking about how am I getting light without one open flame, so you don't have candles, right? You can get them on Amazon. Just Google solar lantern, and there's another couple different models on the back table. I don't, endorse them, but it's an item that you may consider putting in your bag. And it's plastic. It's going to outlive us, right? Over time, 911 was created in 1970? 1972, I think. So we created this culture that you pick up the phone, you call 911, someone's going to be there in 3 to 5 minutes. Well, we've overworked that system, right? Now when you call 911, it's going to be a while, even when you're in the city, and it's got to be an emergency, right? Life-saving emergency, or nobody's going to show up. And living in a rural community, it's going to be even longer. It's going to be like 20 minutes. It could be 40 minutes, depending on what the problem is. I know from experience. What we're trying to do is build a culture of preparedness, right? Change that thought process, change the methodology. And it starts with you, right? Making it important for you and making it important for your kids and your grandkids. So at Christmas time, what am I going to get my kids for Christmas? Get them something for their kid, right? Because what's it doing? It's making them understand it's important for you, so it should be important for them. And those solar lanterns are cool tools, and they can take them camping with them, right? Mountain House Food is also made leaps and bounds. It's got a 30-year shelf life. It's freeze-dried food, right? 30 years is a long time, and they sell buckets of emergency supply food in plastic buckets. So those will last 30 years, right? If you buy emergency supplies in this, a mice is probably going to get into it before you will in 30 years. Or if you buy them in the cardboard box, the same thing, right? And Mountain House is in Albany, so it keeps your dollars local. So Oregon freeze-dried, right? And you can find them at Costco. So food, water, and lighting, and you could probably shelter in place for a long time, right? That's huge. Being able to stay home and not go to Eugene, Springfield and be a part of the problem, right? You're being a part of the solution by having a plan. And that's kind of what I explained when I worked at Eugene to the community down there. They, if they don't have a plan for food and water during Cascadia, all those people on the coast, where do you think they're going? All those refugees, they're coming inland, right? Looking for resources, the same resources that the people that live there are looking for. So having a plan, we're going to be in the same boat. We're going to be looking for resources. Who all shops in Eugene, Springfield for groceries? Okay. Who all leaves when they can't bear the stand to live without heat and power? Oh, I go to Eugene and get a hotel. Well, I guess where everybody else is going, right? So you have to really think through those catastrophic events. And, weathers are changing. Times are changing. I've had 3 of them in the first 3 months of my job. I'm really considering a different career path. But it's just important to think about you, right? Who's most important? Me and my family and my neighbors, right? And my friends. And together we're a force of many because we had a plan, right? There's also these little books on the back table or maybe in your bags. And it's how to start planning, right? We hear that all the time. Get a kit, make a plan, get ready. Well, what does that mean, make a plan? Well, here's a plan right here. Take a look at it. If you have questions, I'm here until the end of the night, and I think we're holding questions to the end, but I'm around, so I look forward to talking with all of you when you get a chance. And I'm going to turn it over to the next person. So thank you.